Hey there, Aquarius. This is Joy with Joy to the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energy that's going on around you guys. First out, I have my handmade deck crowning the top of the spread, and then I've got the a color oracle so that we can see what kind of energy channels it's flowing through here and get some insight there. The Line Striders deck and the Affirmators. All right. Especially picked for you guys. Now let's take a check into what's going on here. The first row says, favor smiles on you. All right, so let's take a look at what kind of favor is wanting to come in here. Because as you can see, those are obviously coins, but coins could be pentacles. It could be anything, tangible. But favor is like an essence, a feeling of things feeling great, feeling good, feeling like they're working. But this has a nod to things turning out. All right, physical things, tangible things. Y'all, for real, I can't tell you how many times I shuffled these cards, and this is in the same place as the shock block reading, that the energy attunement that I did earlier. It was going to be Aquarius's reading, but when I got ready to start putting the cards out, or was heading that direction, I was told it needed to be a collective, a family reading. But anyways, brilliance. This is what was right here. It says, discover your sparkle. Take a look. And let me see what's going on. So it has two essences going on. Part of the message is don't rush. And the other is there's a bit of an icy coldness here. Okay, so that could sort of make sense. That's making sense to me now. Is like, if you're in a rush, you're not tasting your food. You're just putting it down, and you're not even connecting with what's going inside of you, right? If you got somewhere else to be, you're not really all warm and fuzzy about the people you're hanging out with. Your mind is steeled onto something else. So, okay. So this is about softening that. Because favor is that connection. It's that connection that brings in the tangible, the tactile, the manifest. That's the pinnacle of the coin, right? It's not always just money. It has to do with pleasure, earthly pleasure, things that you can touch, taste, feel, smell, taste. Okay, under here we have the moon. It's as if life has its own prayers and wishes that are coming forward for you here. Now, this is a very subtle deck, so I can't show you the pieces that are coming forth from the moon. Sprinkling onto the back of the wolf, onto that instinct, your go-getter instinct, your steeled focus, your kind of eye on the prize sort of thing. It's the goal, and you can shut down your feelings and your emotions, the warm fuzzies, to get the achievement done, to get it accomplished, to check the box, check the mark, get the desired outcome. But life is giving you an invitation here to slow down and to allow the full connection of life, the reason of being, the meaning that goes along with your purpose. Okay, Aqua, and I'm looking in this lens, talking to myself, because I've got Jupiter and Venus almost kissing right up in my Aquarius. So it's about slowing down to savor the pleasures of life. And it's funny because they're hinting down here, and they're saying, don't get crusty about it. Don't get all up in your crawl, all up in your crack about this. It's like, this is good for you, and there is good reason. And life may choose to explain itself here and to further flesh it out. It may not. But in this sense, I would just say from right here, from the get-go, trust. Trust this. Begin to take those breaths. Begin to really take in the fullness of life, because then life can take on the fullness of you, and your full expression comes forth. It's not just about achievements, accomplishments, goals, doing the better for the whole, for the world, for the good of humankind. You are one of those humans. That's what they're saying. Okay? But as we see the domesticated, it's like the house of yourself, the go-getter, the cold, the steely, the icy, the focus, the primal. and the one that's taken care of, the one that's domesticated, the one that's at rest, the one that's at ease. Still primal and instinct, just not at that heightened level that's up around the neck and around the head and the crown. So under here we have the Queen of Wands. I know it doesn't look like she's waving it, but she flat out is. She's waving her magic wand to poof, warm you up. Get you to warm up to this idea, to being human, to being earthly. Look at the colors that she's wearing. I mean, right here, she's the epitome of earth herself, but the wand, the fire, is like the blood that courses through our veins. It is our mammal self, our warm-bloodedness, our need for human connection. They're saying it like this, that when you do this, okay, because you have to have a point to it. When you do this, it levels you up. It levels up your game. And so taking time to slow down to do this only, in a sense, amplifies any productivity and results that you have afterwards. So you may not have realized that feeding this part of yourself, being human, slowing down to smell the roses, to taste the food, to enjoy the hug, to really engage in the lightness of the conversation and to bond with people, that it fuels your purpose here on earth. I could say your agenda, but that could be also be read negatively. But you do have an agenda. You have a mindset of what you're here to do, what you're here to accomplish, and what you're here about. And they're saying, but also be about us, be about life, be about you as well, not just in the rewards of the whole. So in that shock block, we're talking about the ONE, that one, but also here they're talking about the individual, also in its parts, not just the hand, but the fingers too. Okay? So in the next row, we have truth coming in. I see wishes coming true. Because up at the top, this is a dandelion. Those are little wishers, little puffers. They're coming in. And I get an inkling that these are like prayers being answered, that type of thing. Because it wasn't just a sigh type of wish. It's something that, like a dart, like an arrow, it was a focus of your mind and intention that you are honed in on. Okay. So here we see azure. And it says protect yourself, but in number 36 as well. Because 36 is a 9, and the 9 is two things. It's very aqua here. Because if you do numerology or gematria or anything like that, you take the numbers. The 9, you will either always return to itself or it will be absent of itself. Okay, it's like if you add together 1900 and you reduce it down, that's going to be 10 and reduce down to the 1, you see? But if you multiply 9 times 1, 9 times 1 is 9, and it'll return to the 9 or a factoring of 9. So in this case, they're saying it can be all about you or not all about you, but you need that peace, that calm, that serenity, the time for it to be about you, okay? The time for self-nurturing, for kind of cozying away. They're saying lighthearted silliness, but not like, it doesn't have to be goofy. It could just be watching a movie and getting through most of it without principles being downloaded into your mind about how to relate to the world. I can relate on that one. But here the sun is shining clear and bright. And it keeps you clear. It keeps you balanced, which is why it can exponentially increase your productivity, your achievements and accomplishments of what you're able to set forth and do. Under it we have the Hierophant. It's still pointing back to that balance. Just like the bear, they take time. This great creature takes time to fully shut down and rest, which would go with this azure with the 9 of an all or nothing type of thing. In your case, that's not a bad thing. It's kind of a way of operation, a temperance of sort of how you process things. And it's hinting at that and alluding to that here, because just like the bear, they graze and they feed, and then they make sure they really fatten up before they take that extended sleep in which they process all that they've taken in. And when they awaken, they come out lean and hungry. So that's kind of what they're saying about when you begin to imbibe in this earthliness, that you'll operate very much like that. And they're saying dust off your key, because you could be in conflict with yourself otherwise. Trying to push forward, push through, and all that doesn't always help yourself. Kenny Rogers, gotta know when to hold them, gotta know when to fold them, and stick to that and stick with it. But you have to be included. Okay. Now this one came out double, so it already comes with a bit of a clarification going in on it. All right. So underneath we have 13, death. This makes perfect sense under the bear, under the hibernation, because you see the flowers springing up, life springing up all around it. You know, sleep is the earthly form of death. It's when we shut down and the old and the new separate. We start a new day. Everything else is in the past. We have a new beginning, a fresh start, a new momentum, that motivation to move forward, that call forward. And in this case, it comes along with number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. So it's moving right along. Do, 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 do. And so it can be back to the one and being about the one, and the wheel turns. The wheel is the balance of work and play. And we see it coming here in the chase, right? That your energy will take care of itself, but they're really continuing to drive home on these first 2 rows the importance of you also, of being some human time, some human attributes. Think of Taurus, think of Taurian type qualities, of pleasure and enjoyment and slowing down for those sort of things. But they're also encouraging you by letting you know it will prove to your benefit. It will cause the wheel to turn, okay? And it's a process, so it's not like some vagueness. It's very clear. Enjoy your life. When you eat, stop to eat. When you're with friends, be there with friends. When you're asleep, fully shut down and rest and hibernate, so you can process that massive amount of resource and source and energy that you took in all day and convert it into that hunger for the next day. All right, so let's see what is in this channel that's coming along. It says start forgiving, and you can see the trickle down of that balance going on, kind of the yin and the yang, bringing it down and making it very practical and bearing fruit. Okay, and this one came out as a double. No, these weren't planned, but when they insist on sticking together, they come in that one slot. This is our base card. So this is 31, bringing in some balance. We've got green, revitalize your nervous system. This is, here I hear specifically take time to step out of your purpose, to step outside of that, almost like getting naked with yourself, being able to really be seen by the energy, by the spirit that you're always working with. For some of you, this could be a bath, taking that time to strip down and get in the bathtub, taking your shoes off and walking around outside. And it could also be, I see someone laying out a blanket in a nice greenscape area and laying down and watching the light filter through the leaves in the tree, or just watching the leaves blow, or being out in the open where the clouds are rolling by, taking that time to really, they say sleep while you're awake, to pass time. Again, they're drawing it back to how this amps up your game. They're saying the way you've been doing it is very earthly, but they want you to be human and allow your spirituality begin to work for you. okay? And not for you to work your spirituality, but for your spirituality to work you. And end these slowing down times, these points of, you know, ambient movement of the eye and the mind. It's very aqua. To me, aqua is both the air and the water, kind of that plasma state of that amness, that oneness, that beingness of energy just breathing. And it comes along with this rose, attract a relationship. I was wondering if something like this was going to come out when they talked about the humanity. And look, we put it together. It's like we have the whole plant right there. Oh, okay. Ha ha. Very funny. When they were talking about being human. All work and no play makes Jack or Jill a dull boy or girl. They're wanting you to engage in this human experience. That's why you came here. If not, you would have just stayed in divinity and done the work from there. But they want you to have the fullness of the experience here, because in that humanness, you're able to bond and connect, and that bond and the connection is what they're letting me know, that full, firm connection, those bonds are what facilitates the advancement, the assimilation, the leveling up. It's what causes it to be exponential. Under here we have the Queen of Pentacles. And here I hear clearly that she's holding life dear. She's holding life rabbit. But they're funny. She's holding life dear. She's holding it precious to her, close to her heart. That as you take on this role of being human, it's only going to, as we say, amp up your divinity. As you hold life precious and dear like that it's like an orange when it's pressed. Out comes the essence, out comes the juice. When you hold it dear, your essence permeates the environment around you. And then instead of you working spirit, spirit is working you in ways that we can't even fathom. I mean, science is still discovering things. Mankind is still discovering things, both out in space and, you know, in the human body and even on the ground right around us. And that's what they're saying. This one lifetime is not enough to conquer spirit. Spirit wants you to surrender. Surrender to your essence. They're saying that's your way of surrendering to the spirit, because spirit's already in you. And what a greater way to get to know the olive than to taste it. And there's like this sensory that we have, you know, they talk about pheromones or hormones being able to be picked up on. There's also energies like that. It's like your essence will, as people breathe it in, it's just coming in around them and they don't even know where it comes from, but those qualities of awakening begin to touch the world around you in a much more effective and permeable manner. So let's see what's going on down here. Oh, how sweet. We have the King of Pentacles. So already talk about stepping it up, amping it up, going up to the next level. You know, the Queen, it's about allowing. It's about allowing life to do that. And here you become stayed, solid, steady, stabilized, confident in it. You become wise beyond your years and you're crowned with glory. You move the trees with one little shake of that wand. See, I know it's earthly, but it's an earth and fire. You see, they have a fiery wand just like the Queen of Wands does over here. And it causes things to begin to move, to awaken, even earth powers and things like that. But it's about owning it, owning how this now operates and accepting the mastery of it. When you surrender and you accept the truth is what it is, you accept that it's an amping up of your game, it's a leveling up, that it's for the benefit of all and the greater good, including you, because if you are in your well-being and in your humanity and in those true bonds and connections in the moment, in the presence, then the presence of spirit is fully here through you, okay? Living a human experience. Now this next one is intense pressure, and it came in on its side. And so it feels like it's actually coming down to earth. Not just like rain is. It's almost like a spaceship landing or like a meteor falling. It is okay. It's very physical, very very physical. It's an incoming capsule energy. Let's see. Well, Violet, create a balanced life. And again, it's reiterating right here, incoming, the stem, the connection. It would seem almost like a backwards way to do it, but being very divine minded, being very air and water, kind of the plasma state, it would be bringing it down in tangible form, as opposed to, more earthy nature, they put the seed in the ground and let it rise up. And the Wheel of Fortune again. Okay. I like this one because this one's not about work. This is not about play. It's not about that motion of the wheel. It's about destiny. This one and the Line Strider deck. See how the two are sitting at top in love, fully connected, fully bonded. In that bond, it is that thing that stabilizes. It's because in a sense, the wheel can turn like time, like Saturn, like humankind. Even though it's round, it's kind of that linear processing of, if you're driving down the road, you can't see what's beyond the next corner. But in this sense, this Wheel of Fortune is like, well, kind of like your zodiac. It's that eye in the sky, looking down, seeing and knowing everything. And when you can see like that, and you just get that snapshot and that, like that satellite image, you can zoom in and hone in on whatever you want, and you're working with a more infinite and an eternal perspective. When this thing comes in, when this knowingness, when this idea finds its way into your spirit, mind, body, and soul, in the way your spirit and you and your guides understand to move this energy according to your life and the journey that you're on. When it comes in, it's going to take its seat. And it is the seat of destiny. It is no more chasing the tail. No more hamster wheel. And I know you didn't perceive that you were doing that, because I'll listen to this myself and get this for myself. No more that round and round and work, and the thing that creates that very static type energy. They're talking about stabilizing, that it eventually moves it so fast that it travels at the speed of light and it becomes fully present. And then your energy will begin to return to you. It'll be the perfect connection. So under this we have the Page of Swords. So we see what's falling from the sky. You see the books? It's what was coming down from in here. It's that tangible thing. It's knowledge. Beyond wisdom, see, you have wisdom over here, and that bond, that connection, that relationship, and holding them precious and holding it dear. It grows and it develops here, and it becomes this knowledge that it passes all understanding. When something is your own personal experience, it cannot be taken from you. Joining the human experience. And it goes from humanity to divinity, because you're going through the human way of traveling on the wheel, of going through the death, the waking, the sleeping, the eating, those things that are very human-like, to making peace with this being human, with this connection, these bonds, this relationship, and how spirit has already divined how this whole thing works. And now you're privy to that knowledge, that information, and you're living it as your own personal experience, your own stories to be able to share and to relate to others, as to how your journey has been with this movement, with this transformation, with this leveling up, the amping up your game, Aqua. So we're going to take a quick peek at the bottoms of the deck. I already have them sitting up. And right beside Violet, we have Plum. This is number 41. We see like a door or a window beyond the veil. And it says, overcome your challenges. Okay. So this is coming in a little bit like a devil card. And so the devil can be that bondage, and bondage can just be habit or the way things have been handled. It could be like this wheel versus this wheel, right? The chasing the tail, the way things have been done in an earthly manner. It's a Capricorn card. It's very earthy, straight up cardinal earth going on, which I got Capricorn sun. So I'm seeing how it's making sense. It's almost like that is in the hallway. This door is standing right where you could either go down the hallway or go through the door, and it's kind of blocking you. And it's kind of like a bull or a steed just kind of clawing the ground and flaring its nostrils and turning its eye towards you to slightly intimidate, to show it means business. But it's thin, it's vaporous. It's just a vapor. And that's the thing is when you go to sleep, it's in the past. And you decide moment to moment who you are now and how you operate and how things are going. And your spirit and your guides will filter this through you and through your understanding and the signs that you're being shown and have been being shown, the life has been being built through you through the years of your living. And it'll show you how to navigate this to get to the light, to get to, like they're saying, eternal light, the eternal light, illumination, that amness, that beingness that's coming about over here, that experience of allowing it to be facilitated, your essence to work effortlessly. And so I would say, just if those things come to play on the mind, don't let devil's advocates step on in. Don't let your mind be flipped and flopped back and forth. You sit and you be with yourself. You take that time to sit out under the trees, to soak in your bathtub, to, if you have the love of your life, to walk hand in hand and go for a stroll. Things that are very languid, very relaxed, and it'll just dissipate, because it's like, why aren't they giving me any attention? Don't they see that I'm here? And those type of energies, that type of battlefield, if it won't be fed, it's just gonna go. It's just gonna go, and it's of no harm. It's of no threat, but it's just there to kind of try and bully you a bit to going around the mountain one more time. So on the Lion Striders, we have the Ace of Wands. I love that. Look at that fiery, passionate start. Here we have a fox that's wrapped around this pole. I see it. It goes all the way from innocent to saucy. It goes from it could be a pole dance playing around with that divine Kundalini energy, to also the softness of being on a merry-go-round. It is playing of both energies are there, which is the fullness of the spectrum. Your divine embodiment as well as your human existence. And being able to have the two together in one place. And it's definitely got the blessing all over it. It's got the flowers and the blue, the promise, okay, loyalty, promise, fulfillment, that sort of thing going on around you, next to this destiny, this Wheel of Fortune. Now I'll tell you, when I turned this over, the affirmators, the King of Swords was on the bottom, but he wanted to slide away. He wanted to get away, and he wasn't like running. He was like, you don't see me. And I'm like, yes, I do. But I had to go ahead and pull him off, because that was hinting at what was underneath. But in a sense, he's like, it's like he knew his day was done here. He went from, dun, 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 remember that steeled focus, that I'm on point, I'm on focus, I've got a task, I'm doing this thing, to where now he's all butterflies. You see him? It's just all butterflies floating around. It's like, yeah, I'm a softie at heart, still got that sword erect, and the crown on the head, and a gorilla, a symbol of massive strength and masculine strength of very much that knowing what you want and going to get it, that mindset. But again, he softened a bit and went into some of that yin and yang, some of that balance of the polarities going on that we saw softening with this connection, this relationship that became, well, like butterflies too, you know, that balance, that coming in and being able to have this earthy joy, this fulfillment, the really being whole in your body, which makes sense because underneath him what he exposed is the Knight of Cups, and that's kind of his butterflies, is like what he's alluding to and showing us here. And this cup is full. Look at it. Knight of Cups. And this cup is full of milk or snow. It's kind of like, you know, milk and honey is things that nature provides, like this rose, like that green space. It's providing for you. Yes, another creature does the work, but the same thing is we aren't able to turn grass into milk. Okay? They are. And in the sense, it's nodding to life, to nature, doing this destiny. Nature, life has provided all this for you to enjoy, for you to grow, for you to become stronger. And there are lots of other words, but they could kind of trigger enlightened, well-rounded, developed, wholesome. It's good for you. That's what they're saying. Because it's good for you. It's good for you. And take it as to what they mean. Neither here nor there whether you like milk or not, or your opinion about it, but that's what they're saying is good for you. They're saying this is good for you. So it's kind of like other people could be taking medicine, but in your case it's to live life, to enjoy the process and all that it has availed to you because it's good for you. And I drew an animal oracle before we started, and what has shown up is tiger. Accept your magnificence. Look at that beautiful, that dark energy that you walk in. This is like a magnificent star lit up here, lighting the way. Because tigers, they travel and move about in the shadows and in the dark. You're totally at peace with that. This is not changing any bit of who you are. Matter of fact, it's elevating who you are. It is embodying who you are. It is awakening your wholeness, like your divinity in your humanity. And it makes you that much more relevant. So I'm excited about that. Very practical. Makes lots of sense. I hope it's made sense to you. And I appreciate our time together. I thank you for joining me and teaching me about our energy that I can learn from, as well as how to walk that out in my Jupiter and Venus in my second house. So I'm wishing you well, warming up to all that life has to offer for you, and watch how the divineness moves through you in ways that warms your heart and, you know, stirs your belly and puts that giddy vibe inside of you that causes, you know, your neck and your shoulders to relax and to open up even more. We need you, Aqua. We're glad you're here. We're thankful for who you are and what you contribute to our zodiac world, your divineness and your being on point. But we want you to enjoy the party as well, to enjoy your life and all the benefits therein of being you, being yourself. This is Joy with Joy to the World, saying I love you. Bye for now.